Welcome back to the JCPod, partner with Stare Down Sports. Stare Down greatness. We're that much closer, man. We are that much closer. We are officially 32 days away from NFL Week 0. So if you want to think about it, next time you see me on here, we're basically a month away from college football Week 0. And it's still unbelievable to think that the NFL season's finally basically here. I mean, at the end of the month, July 31st, we got a preseason, the Hall of Fame game, which... not totally a football game, but close enough to a football game where we can have some hope. Man, it's basically right here. So today it's going to be very simple. We have the AFC West and the NFC West to finish off. So this week we're going to talk AFC West. Today it's going to be Chiefs and Raiders. Got some NFL news I need to go for first just because there's some small little things we need to get out of the way that probably will have something to do with stuff upcoming here in the near future when it comes to the NFL. And then after that, we're pretty much going to hop straight into we're going to talk the Kansas City Chiefs. We're going to talk the Raiders. We're going to go over my futures, breakdowns, and all that stuff. Won't lie to you. Going to be more breakdown than futures these last two. I mean, obviously I have futures for both these teams, but there's just a lot more. Won't lie to you. There's a lot more breakdown, more stuff I have to talk about these divisions versus like actually betting it. There's some stuff obviously I found that I like, but for the most part, these were the last two divisions where I struggled with the most finding stuff I liked. Or if I did find stuff I liked, the odds were kind of bad. So it's like, do I really want to take that? So that's a lot of what this division and the NFC West I was dealing with, but still going to be some nice gems in there for us to talk about. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and talk some NFL news before we talk about the Kansas City Chiefs. First thing I want to talk about is this whole Bengals situation. So Shamar Stewart still not reporting to camp amid his situation. I'm at this point, I don't know if it's the agents, I don't know if it's him, I don't know if it's ownership. I don't know who's messing that one up, but I do know when it comes to the Trey Hendricks situation, that seems like it's whole on the Bengals side. So the Bengals came out and they said some really, there's disagreements on guaranteed money. Cincinnati's willing to offer 1 year of guaranteed money while the other elite edge rushers have received 3 years, obviously. So there's been this whole issue going on with them. And then the Bengals owner just came out recently and made some very interesting comments when it came to this whole situation between him and Trey Henderson. But at this point now, Trey Henderson is to the point where he's in Florida. He posted a picture of him being in Florida. At this point, no idea what's going to go on between them. But it's gotten to the point now where Trey Henderson said he didn't want to take it this far, but obviously he has no choice as a player, so he has to take it this far. So now that's where he's going with it, to where now he is, like I said, officially in Florida, holding out of camp. And it's going to be a matter of... I just want to say it's going to be a matter of time to see what's going to happen with this situation, but it's been now like months of us trying to figure out what's going to happen. So we're legit just going to have to see. At this point, if I had to guess, I mean, I don't see how you come back to the Bengals after all this has been going on. You know, I mean, obviously there's a chance money talks. I mean, we saw Myles Garrett saying, I don't want to play for Cleveland Browns again. I want to go play for a winning organization. Get me the hell out of here. They offered him $40 million a year, and all of a sudden it's like, Cleveland ain't too bad. So this is going to be a matter of what gets Trey Henderson back in the building. But as of right now, it seems like those two sides are basically about as far apart as you can get to this point in the season. Stephon Diggs is apparently fully cleared to participate in training camp. As you can see, I also got my chair back. So the sitting today, a lot nicer, even though it's way off the side topic. He tore his ACL in October. Stephon Diggs did, limiting him to only 8 games last year. Sounds like he's going to be good to go, though. I guess we're obviously going to have to see what else is happening. Obviously, they're going to monitor his reps early on in camp. I still don't know for sure if he's going to be back to start the season. As of right now, though, doesn't seem like they're going to totally put him on the PUP. So as long as he avoids the PUP, I mean, maybe they'll still slowly build him back without him being on the PUP. But he's the best receiver in the room at this point. So especially talent-wise. So if they can get him healthy and get him going, that would be a great sign for Drake May and things to come for him. The whole Jerry Jones thing with Micah Parsons is absolutely wild. I feel like a lot of talk shows have talked about it, so I'm not going to jump into it too much. But I will say I know he's an older man, but Jerry's way of doing his business is, hey, he's made more money than me in the business side of it, so I probably can't say too much, but interesting tactics he's taken. I will say that to say the least. Jimmy Graham intends to retire with the Saints. He confirmed the news on X when he was talking to a reporter. I don't know if that means he's going to resign immediately, but... Oh, never mind. Okay, so apparently in a tweet from John DeShear, the Saints, Jimmy Graham says he officially plans to retire this year from the NFL. Fittingly, as a Saint, pretty sure he'll be in the Saints Hall of Fame and Ring of Honor, and he can make a strong case for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So I don't know if they've announced like an actual date for this, but just look out for sometime this year. Jimmy Graham will be retiring as a Saint, and we'll probably see him do the one-day thing. Shout out to Jimmy Graham. One hell of a career, man. He was dominant for the Saints. He last played in 2023 for them. And it was funny. Yeah, he basically only made... I mean, he didn't play much. He didn't do too much in 2022, but he was there as a veteran leadership, and he did. I remember there'd be points he'd come into the game, and Rowan, I think every week at that point, was betting, my boy Rowan, shout out, I think he's betting Jimmy Graham touchdown like every week, and he's like, hey, let's go, it's time again. So that was man, that was a fun ride to end the season with Jimmy Graham. So shout out to Jimmy Graham on one hell of a career. I would assume that he's going to end up in the Hall of Fame. I would not, I just wouldn't be shocked. I'm pretty sure he'll end up in the Hall of Fame. The Packers are signing Zach Tom to a 4-year, $88 million deal. He started every game for Green Bay's offensive line over the last 2 seasons. He's full-time starting right tackle in 2024. He allowed just 4 sacks and 28 pressures on 271 pass blocking attempts, which is really fucking good. So he's only 26 years old, too, drafted in 2022. So, yeah, really good that they signed him to a deal because it just seems like a guy who's going to be on the offensive line for a while, especially if he's putting up numbers like that. Levis is undergoing shoulder surgery. It's season ending. Apparently, he had some nagging issues during the offseason that just never fully healed, so he's deciding to get it done now. He's fully expected to be ready for 2026, but he will not be playing this year. There's a lot of rumors out there saying, like, oh, I wonder if Will Levis is dodging Cam Ward because he's going to lose the starting job to him and all this and all that. I just thought, first off, it's kind of understood that, yeah, Cam Ward's probably going to start, and Will Levis is going to be the backup. So my question more of is, like, why didn't he get this done earlier? Why did it take him so long to get it figured out? So I wonder if it's something like that, or... I mean, he initially heard it in October. I wonder if he tried to rehab and the rehab didn't go well. I just don't know. I don't know how to really... I don't know where this injury... I mean, obviously it happened in October, but I don't know if it's like that's when it initially started, if playing on it made it worse, if the rehab didn't fully heal right. Really, I'm not too sure on that, I'll admit. The whole NFLPA thing that's going on is crazy too. JC Trotter is resigning amid the whole union overhaul. I mean, he's gone. Lloyd Howell stepped down earlier this week as executive director of the Players Union, which sounds like the NFLPA is having some real issues in there. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can get that cleaned up. Rashee Rice is going to participate in training camp, even though he has a jail sentence. Apparently he can. So it's 30 days jail after authorities say, whether he would be able to fully participate in the regular season remains to be seen. Basically, it's coming down to, at worst, I mean, at best, he'll be suspended 2 games. At worst, it'll probably be something like 6. If I had to guess, more probably like the 3 or 4 range. And yeah, it sounds like he had to spend 30 days in jail because of a plea. I forget what the other punishment is, but it's like 30 days in jail, 5 years of probation. I think there's maybe one other thing, but basically, it sounds like, yeah, for the most part, he's just going to be... he's not to serve that jail time, probably get suspended for a couple games, and then it's just right back to what it was before with Rashee Rice. It just sucks that he put himself in that situation because it was a really dumb situation, if we're being honest. The Seattle Seahawks have released Noah Fant. This saves them this clears $9 million in total cash for the Seahawks, which basically means they're going to their other 2 tight ends. They drafted Elijah Arroyo, AJ Barner, who they really like as well. So AJ Barner, Elijah Arroyo, probably going to be the 2 tight ends they mainly focus on now. That's why they got rid of Noah Fant. George Karlaftis, 4-year, $93 million deal with $62 million guaranteed. Keeps him through 2030 season. They drafted him 30th overall in 2022. He's been a monster in the postseason. He's been pretty... I would say he's been pretty good in the regular season. He's like... I don't want to say average, but kind of close to your average defensive lineman. But in the postseason, I think he averages like a pressure and a sack a game. And so that's one of those things where it's like postseason he steps up a little bit, which is shocking coming from Purdue, to be honest, because Purdue was not that good, if we're being honest. I just still think it's crazy. I played this guy in high school because he went to West Lafayette when I went to McCutcheon. It's just crazy because, like, don't get me wrong, he was, like, kind of big in high school, but it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, he's big, but he's not that big. And then you go to a D1 program, it's like, that's why it separates these D1 programs. Got the size, got the muscle that he was missing, and it's like, okay, yeah, now it's a bit more studly-like. So, shout out to George Karlaftis and all that money he is earning. And the final thing I'll talk about, Bengals are signing Desmond Ridder to a backup deal. Yeah, it basically does it. So if something happens to Joe Burrow, probably a good chance that Desmond Ridder is coming in. And then I guess last thing I actually will talk about, Levi Onwuzurike, I think that's how you say it. He has suffered an ACL tear, so he's going to undergo surgery. He re-signed with the Lions for a 1 year, $5.5 million deal in March, so it really, really sucks that... Yeah, it's kind of like a prove a year, and this is the second time he's now missed a full season. He had to sit out 2022 due to a back injury, so it's just like, man, this guy cannot catch a break when it comes to health, which is the name of the game in pro football. Some of these guys just cannot get lucky at all when it comes to health, and other guys are super, super lucky and can go a whole season without getting hurt, or go a whole career. And that will do it for the NFL news portion a bit. Now it is time for us to go to the breakdowns, previews, and futures, all that fun jazz. So we'll start off with the AFC West standings from last year. Chiefs 15-2 with, I'm pretty sure, 11 one-score game wins, which is just absolutely crazy. I just can't get over that. I mean, they 15-2 and 11 of those were one-score games. They were able to win. It ended with their season with an ass kicking to the Super Bowl, though, so that's part that's... Excuse me. A little bit iffy for them. Chargers finished 11-6. 10-7 for the Broncos, and then just an absolute bottom falling off for the Raiders at 4-13. We're going to start off with the Chiefs, like I said. Chiefs, 9 years in a row, they've won the AFC title. The streak began in 2016, and obviously, like I said, 9 seasons in a row. They're looking for number 10. I believe their odds to win are like minus 110, but the Broncos are the most bet-on team to win the division. Interesting. I do think the Broncos are going to have a bit better every year, but that was just interesting to see the Broncos are the most bet-on team in this division. It's like, oh, really? I genuinely would have not guessed that, especially the Chiefs made minus 110 to win the division. You would think that would get a little bit more juice, especially because usually it's like minus 230, minus 340. But yeah, like I said, the Chiefs basically won the division 9 years in a row, and that's because they've had Patrick Mahomes for like 9 years. Gardner Minshew's backing him up with Bailey Zappi as the third string. Isaiah Pacheco, Kareem Hunt, Elijah Mitchell are the running backs. Rasheed Rice, Xavier Worthy, Hollywood Brown, Juju Smith-Schuster, Jalen Royal, Sky Moore are the wide receivers, Travis Kelce, Noah Gray are the tight ends, Carson Steele's the fullback. Creed Humphrey's still there. They re-signed Trey Smith. Jalen Moore's the new. It's going to be the tackle. Assuming Josh Simmons isn't healthy to start the season, it's probably going to be Jalen Moore starting. Creed Humphrey's still there to lead the way at center. So this is an offensive line that, while not all the pieces, I mean, as total as an offensive line, they probably did upgrade. But losing Joe Thuney does suck. That's a big loss, but I think they'll be able to fill the void at least. I mean, he's really fucking good, so that's going to be really hard to see. I mean, it's going to be hard to see, but not impossible, especially with this team. And then let's look at their defense. Eventually, they got George Karlaftis, Chris Jones, Mike Pennell Jr., Mike Dana. Sorry, I don't know why there's just a long pause there. Drew Tranquill, Nick Bolton, Leo Chenal, Trent McDuffie, Jaden Hicks, Brian Cook, Christian Fulton, and Chamari Connor rounds out their starters on defense. Schedule-wise, I mean, bit of a tough schedule. They play the Chargers in San Paulo on a Friday to start their season. That's going to be a little bit of a fun one, eh? Which takes away a home game from them. But then they got Philadelphia at home, away versus the Giants, home versus Baltimore, away versus Jacksonville, home versus Detroit, home versus Las Vegas, home versus Minnesota, away versus Buffalo, away versus Denver, home versus the Colts. Whew, that's a tough game. Can't even keep a straight face for that one. At Dallas, the Week 10 bye, by the way, which is pretty decent for them, basically by in the middle of the season, before they start their insane Christmas schedule. But yeah, like I said, Week 11, they're away for Denver, home versus the Colts, away for Dallas, home versus Houston, home versus the Chargers, away for the... that's a quick turnaround. So they're away for the Tennessee. Excuse me, I don't know why I keep yawning. Thursday, Week 17, they're home on Christmas. They're home for the Broncos, and then end the season at Las Vegas. Now looking at their win total, I mean, this is a win total. I guess this is some pretty decent news, so we should talk about in the middle of the Chiefs part. Speaking of former Chief himself, Tyrann Mathieu has officially retired from the NFL, which is just crazy. Another one of those more people now finally that like I grew up with that went from college. I actually remember watching college football, moving on to the NFL. Another one of those guys retiring, so you really hate to see that. But shout out to Tyrann Mathieu, one hell of a career. But like I said, we were going to be talking about the Chiefs. This is a team now with a win total of 11.5. And I won't lie to you, I slightly lean the under just a little bit, but I'm not fully fully confident on that. Just for the fact that, I mean, they went 15-2 last year, like I said. It's plus 105 for the 11.5 wins. It's just the fact they won 11 one-score games. It's just the thing is they have improved as a team. Like, overall, this is a team that, like I said, they went 15-2, but I think overall, I think they improved, especially, like, getting Rasheed Rice back. I do think their offensive line, which was a massive issue last year, definitely got some better pieces, but I just don't know if I can get myself to do it. I'm close. I'm close to taking this over. I will like very, very close to taking it, but it's like, I just don't know if I can fully get there. If you like them to win the Super Bowl, the Chiefs are plus 850 to win the Super Bowl. They were plus 700 earlier. Like, not even... Earlier this morning, they were literally plus 750, so that's great to see that change. The Eagles, I think... Yeah, so Buffalo 7. Oh, this is fascinating. Excuse me. I guess I'm just going to yawn the whole episode. I mean, my lord. I won't lie to you. I've walked away like 6 different times to yawn. And I have no idea why I just got the yawning fits right now talking about the Chiefs. Probably because they're a boring team because they just win all the damn time. But, no, now Baltimore's plus 650 to win. Then it's Bills at 700. Eagles 750. Chiefs 850. When I looked at this earlier, I could have sworn that the Eagles were first at plus 650. So I really wonder what flipped it. Like, I wonder what big news that Baltimore had something that flipped it. If the Eagles had something, I wonder what made that change. But the Chiefs are plus 850 to win Super Bowl if you believe in that. I don't think it's horrible odds. Might be something I just sprinkle just to sprinkle it just because there's a chance. But I don't know if it's fully something I'm invested in. Yeah, especially because it's the Chiefs. Like, putting it because it's the Chiefs, plus 850 win the Super Bowl is like, kind of tempted to do that one. But I don't think I will. If you like them, like I said, them to win the AFC West is minus 110. I have something I am going to give out. They've won it for 9 straight years. Why is this all of a sudden the year where they won't win it? Especially, I do have to understand Denver's gotten a little bit better. I do understand that they have, like, Denver's gotten better. I understand the Raiders are going to be a slight bit better. I understand that the Chargers are also getting better. It's just one of those things. It's like Tomlin winning the... not winning, but Tomlin with the positive record for each season. It's like, hey, if he's going to be over 500 every single season, why would I not just keep going back to it? Especially if they've won it 9 years in a row. What makes them say they can't do it a 10th? And if they don't win it this year, guess what? Maybe they'll win it again next year. Like, as long as Mahomes is there, it's one of those things now where it's like, especially if you can get good odds, why not take it? Like, it's one of those things like, yeah, if it loses, whatever, but you're getting pretty good odds because there's a chance that minus 110 might be the lowest this gets all season. Like, there's a chance to say the Chiefs go start off 4-0. Like, they beat the Eagles, beat the Chargers, start off 4-0. There's a chance it's minus like 200, and then at best the rest of the season maybe it's like minus 130 later on. Like, minus 110 is not horrible odds at all. So that's kind of why I like it there. Very similar to the Mahomes MVP argument. If you like that, it's basically just like where if you bet Mahomes to win the MVP, there's a good chance that it's going to happen. Say if you do it for 10 years, you're probably going to make your money because he's won it. If he wins it like 4 or 5 times in 10 years, you're obviously going to make money. If he wins it 3 times, still probably make your money back. But one of those things I just want to bring up for that reason because I don't think I'm personally going to take it just because of I don't know. I just don't think I want to take it personally. But it's one of those things where it's like similar to the AFC West, where it's like not a horrible bet because it's Patrick Mahomes. There's a chance he's going to win the MVP. But this year, I think that's will probably be between Lamar and Josh Allen again. I don't know. It's just one of those weird things with the Chiefs where it's like I'm going to say this a lot when it comes to them too. It's like obviously they want to win the game and all that stuff, so they're going to go out of their way to be like, hey, let's get Mahomes an extra 300 passing yards in this game, or let's get him an extra 20 passing yards in this game. It's like, let's just win the game. Let's screw all this dumb stat stuff. Let's just win. And then another thing, truly, too, is like their team is really good. Like the Chiefs are really good as a full-on team, so it's like another thing where it's like they might not even have to like. Some of these teams boost stats by accident because their defense is so bad. Like, for example, the Bengals, their defense is going to be so bad, there's a chance that Joe Burrow might have to be out there 24/7. It's not the case for the Chiefs necessarily, and if they have leads, they can rely on handing off the ball, doing other stuff, so there's a chance they really just don't even need Mahomes to do as much as, some of these other guys will, like, genuinely have to do just to win games. So that's also another reason why I'm kind of just laying off that. When it comes to actual, like, player stats, I think it's basically what we need. I think that's what we're going to get into next because basically, I mean, I don't think I'm saying anything that's not shocking. The Chiefs are a really good football team. They're going to make the playoffs again. Their win total being over 11.5, I would not be shocked if 12-4. 11-6 is not a horrible 12-5, excuse me. 11-6 is not a horrible season as well. Their schedule is definitely one of those ones where they'll drop off, but I drop off a bit, but I just don't think it's going to be enough to where it's like horrible. AFC West winner, we talked about it nine years in a row. Would be pretty dumb not to take it again. And then for Mahomes MVP, that's just one of those bets where it's like if you take it every year, maybe it hits. I'll admit to you, I haven't taken it every year, and this is probably another year. I'm not going to take it. I like it. I like the idea of it. Just don't see myself taking it. So by the way, I need to quit yawning, man. This is ridiculous. Like I think it's because this room is getting a little bit hotter. I won't lie to you. Ever since my PC's been on, I'm feeling the temperatures go up a little bit. It's like, not because I'm bored or anything, which is nice to know. It's just like, man, why do I keep yawning? Like I said, maybe it's because the Chiefs are just so damn good. They're boring to talk about. But no. And then basically, there's a couple stats I'm interested in, basically, when it comes to the Chiefs. There's basically two. Because I won't lie to you, this is one of those teams like that. We just talked about it with the stats. I don't think they're going to have to push for stats. I think their defense is going to keep them in games where they're up and comfortable. So I'm not going to take it like any Rashee Rice, Isaiah Pacheco, Travis Kelce, none of that. Man, I'm not going to lie to you. You guys won't see it, but I just had to take an allergy pill. Just took like a 5-minute walk. Boy, just for whatever reason, I was about to fall asleep in this chair just sitting here, and I have no idea why. So let's get back to talking some Chiefs props. Because like I said, I think the Chiefs are going to pass around the ball a lot, one of those situations again. So there's basically two things I'm looking at. I'm looking at Mahomes' passing over, and I'm looking at Mahomes' over passing touchdowns. For Mahomes over passing over, it's 4,000 yards. I won't lie to you, between the touchdowns is 27.5, minus 114. The passing yards are 4,000 over minus 114, same odds. Last year he threw for 39-28 passing, 26 touchdowns. Every year before that, passing-wise, he's never been under, since 2019 when he's been a full-time starter, he's never been under 4,000 passing yards. This last season was the first time. And it's also the least amount of attempts he's had in his career, except for, I guess it's not totally true, but in the last 3 seasons, it's the least amount of attempts he's had, so it makes you wonder if they rely on the run game more. So basically, I was just looking at all this. I think I leaned the passing touchdowns a tad bit just because, like I said, he's had so many. He's at 50, 26, 38, 37, 41, 27, 26. And then finally it dropped to, whatever you say, it dropped to, it's dropping a little bit. So I think Foley coming on here, I think we're going to take Mahomes as over passing yards. I don't think there's any other stats I really want to take. Just because, like I said, I'm not a big fan of just how much, and it's not a bad thing, but they just pass the ball around a lot. Kelce obviously is having a bit of a down, he had a downish year last year. I don't think that's shocking. I think age is part of it. I just think what they ask him to do is caught up to him a little bit. I think they don't need him as much anymore now, especially if Rashee Rice comes back. So it's one of those things where, where I'm just wondering, man, do I... So I was looking through some of their stuff. I'm just like, man, I don't want to take this, don't want to take this, don't want to take this. So I basically fell upon those receiving yards and the receiving touchdowns. So I think I'm fully invested on the passing yards and the passing touchdowns. I think I'm going to be on the passing yards just because, like I said, he's basically short of it by 70 yards, and I think that's just one game where he passes it a little bit better. And then he's over 4,000. And based on comparing the touchdowns to the yards, I like the yards season by season a lot more than I do the touchdowns. Only thing I'm scared of is they start to run the ball a little bit more, or they get a little bit more. What's the word? I don't want to say I don't want to say run happy, but almost go away from the pass a little bit more because they don't need it. If they get out of games where they don't need to pass as much, that could also be an issue. But it's one of those things where it's just I was looking at these odds. It's man, 4,000 passing yards is it's not too horrible at all. They're going to be a good team again. So when it comes to the receiving yards for some of these guys, one game it could be Rashee Rice, next game it could be Kelce, another game it could be Pacheco, another game it could be Kareem Hunt, another game it could be Juju. There's just too much variety there. And the one thing I didn't see a lot of variety or verity was hey, that guy Mahomes is going to be back there the majority of the time. So as long as he doesn't get hurt, I love this number of 4,000. But if he does get hurt, makes me a tad bit nervous. So that's going to do for the Chiefs. I got 3 basically futures I'm for sure going to take for this team. Them to win the AFC West at minus 110. Chiefs over 11.5 wins for the season. I'm just going to take it. Why not? Won't be shocked if it doesn't hit, but I'll give it out. I'll take it. I like it that it's plus money. And like I said, I think I project them for about 11 or 12 wins. So, it's another one of those over-unders where it's a good number. I would not be shocked. I think there's going to be some regression from last year because they won 11 one-score games. It's just a matter of do they lose 5 games, do they lose 4 games, or do they lose 3 games? It's kind of I don't think they lose, I don't think they're going to be 11-6. I wouldn't be shocked, but I don't think they're going to be 11-6. I think if anything, it's going to be 12-5, 13-4, 14-3, something like that. So that's why I lean that there. And then Mahomes over 4,000 passing yards. I just think that he's hit almost every year in his career. Last year he missed it by 70 yards, and I just think that's one of those things where it's like the number's kind of perfect. I think they're going to try to get back to the passing a little bit more. So I wouldn't be shocked if it regresses a little bit more again as we continue to see him like just be more of a complete player. But I just think they need to go back to relying on him a little bit more. Like the offensive line thinks it's going to be a little bit better, so it should allow him a little bit more time to pass the ball, make more reads, look farther in his progression, maybe not have to scramble as much. So that's why I lean the 4,000 yards there. So that just brings us to the Las Vegas Raiders, who 4-13, coaching staff-wise for the Chiefs, by the way, we forgot to talk about that. They did not change really anything at all. Now for the Raiders, after a 4-13 season, they changed a lot. You bring in Pete Carroll, who replaces Antonio Pierce. Antonio Pierce is out. Offensive coordinator Luke Getsy was let go. Chip Kelly comes in as a new offensive coordinator. And then I think they retained the defensive coordinator, Patrick Graham. And Tom McMahon stayed as a special team coordinator. So the big changes, were offensive coordinator and head coach. This move was definitely made for Pete Carroll's the bridge to the next head coach. So he's basically just here to rebuild the culture, fix everything, which makes sense. Pete Carroll was really good at building culture and all that stuff. And then they'll move on to another coach. I wouldn't be shocked maybe it ended up becoming Chip Kelly. Now, that's something for a different day. I don't know how many years. I don't know if it's going to be 3 years, 5 years, but there's definitely going to be Pete Carroll isn't there for 10, 15 years at this point. He's there for, I would say, somewhere around the 3 to 5 range because he's going to build this team for them and try to fix them for the horrible team they were last year, where they just had no offensive play. I mean, their offense was pretty bad. Defensively, they weren't really too good either. It was just a mess, so they're looking to bring back the Raider way. Offensively, they might be able to do that with. They got Geno Smith, the quarterback, Aiden O'Connell's the backup, Ashton Denty, Raheem Mostert, and Sincere McCormick. We like that. I love Genty, man, and there's going to be not too much competition, so it could be a great year for him if they're able to block for him. Jacoby Myers, Trey Tucker, Jack Beck, who I think has some chance to be really, really good. Dante Thornton, Tommy Mellett, Alex Bachman are the wide receivers. Tight end, you got Brock Bowers, Michael Mayer, and then offensive line-wise, Jackson Powers Johnson, Dylan Parham, Colton Miller, Alex Kappa, DJ Glaze. Raiders fans are going to have to let me know. I don't think they're changing too much from their offensive line. Maybe one or two guys, but I don't think so fully. Defensively, Max Crosby, Christian Wilkins, Adam Butler, Malcolm Kunse? Oh, man, that's tough. Jermaine Pratt, Eldon Roberts, Tommy Eichenberg, Darian Porter, Jeremy Chin, Isaiah Polomau, Eric Stokes, and Darnay Holmes are their defense. Which is them defensively, I guess, is what I was trying to say. Look at their schedule. Away versus New England to start the year, and then it's home versus Chargers, away versus Washington, home versus Chicago, away for the Colts, home versus Tennessee, away for the Chiefs. They get a Week 8 bye. Not ideal. Week 9, they play Jacksonville, away for Denver, home versus Dallas, home versus Cleveland. So Week 11 and 12 are the first time you don't get a home-away. So they're home-away, 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 all the way until Week 9 or Week 11, where they have the Cowboys at home. Week 12, where they have the Browns at home. Then it's Week 13 to go to the Chargers. Week 14, they're home for the Broncos. Week 15, Philly. Week 16, Week 15, they're at Philly. Week 15, they're at Houston. Week 17, home for New York. Week 18, the end of the season, home versus Kansas City. Not a horrible schedule, but this is definitely going to be. It's going to be probably a rough first year for the Raiders, just for a fact they have to. I don't think it's going to be horrible. They're going to be one of those teams. They're probably going to be in a good amount of games. They're going to fight, but it's not going to be an amazing season win total wise. Win total wise, they're under 7.5 wins at -165, which I think is perfect. I think they're going to win. I think they're going to win about 7 games, maybe 8 if they're lucky. I just think it's going to be one of those teams where if you fall asleep against them, they can definitely steal the game from you. But it's going to be one of those things where they'll probably lose a lot of close games. I wouldn't be shocked if they lose games like 19-13, 16-14. It's going to be a lot of close games, I feel like, for the Raiders. I think they're going to be a tough out a lot of these weeks. So I do lean the under 7.5 wins for that reason. Just for the fact that, I think just because they're going to be a tough team, but they still got a ways to go. I mean, they don't, outside of Brock Bowers and Jacoby Myers, receiving-wise, they got a lot of guys who need to prove themselves. Jack Beck has a chance to maybe be good, but he has to prove himself. Trey Harris, same thing. So there's a chance, but I'm not fully sold on it. Just because they might not win a lot of games, though, doesn't mean I don't like some of their futures. Genty to win Offensive Rookie of the Year is +270. I mean, Cam Ward might challenge him, but basically, as of right now, unless somebody surprises me, I mean, it's basically Genty versus Cam Ward, so I don't mind that at all. Like I said, I'm probably not going to take it. Pete Carroll, Coach of the Year, plus 1,400. Probably not a horrible one, but we already take Mike Vrabel, and we're going to sit with Mike Vrabel, so I'm not going to... I tempted to double dip. If I'm going to double dip, I'm going to take Pete Carroll, but I picked Mike Vrabel to win it this year, so I'm going to stick with my Mike Vrabel pick. Geno Smith, he's under 20.5 passing touchdowns. This is one where I'm probably going to stay away from. There's going to be a lot of stuff where I lean under, if anything, because I just think this is going to be one. I think Geno Smith is better than any quarterback they've had, but he doesn't have a lot of guys to throw to. I don't know how much they're going to ask him to do on that offense, but I mean, he had 4,300 passing yards, 21 touchdowns to 15 interceptions with the Seahawks. I just don't know regression-wise. Like, I don't know because he's had 30, then 20, then 21, so maybe 2021 is about the range he should be at as a pro, because that's what he got with Seattle, but I just don't know. I just wanted to bring it up. That's about 20.5 for his passing touchdown-wise. I lean under, not taking anything there. Passing yards-wise, he's at 37.75.5. Another one where now that they have Genty, are they going to lean on the run a little bit more? So I'm going to stay away from that just for that reason. There are 5... Do I have a receiving touchdown? Oh, so I have the over and the under. Okay, so there's 4 things I want to take, or I want to talk about. 2 of them for sure I'm taking. The other 2 not 100% sure on. We already took it and already bet it. It's Genty over 1050.5 rushing yards. I took this. We gave it out basically, I think it was like a couple months ago, or not even a couple months ago. It was basically like a month and a half-ish ago when I gave out the first part of the futures I love. I love Genty. I loved him as a college prospect. I think he's going to translate to the NFL decently well. There is not a lot of competition in the backfield for him, so he should be getting a lot of looks. So the fact that it's at 1050, I like that. It's bounced around from like 1050, 1075s. I think it even touched 1025 maybe to start the season, but I've seen a lot at 1050, 1075, 1050, 1075. So I just say below 1075, I like it. 1075 to 1100. I started to get a little bit nervous just because it's adding extra to it. I just, not that I don't think he can hit it. It's just, hey, if it's at 1050, that's a number I like. Anything above that's just kind of like, we don't really have to mess with it. We should probably let that be. So I do like that number there. I think he's going to have a really good season. Rushing touchdown-wise, it's over under 7.5 for him. I'm not sure on this one. I do lean the over just a tad bit, but I'm not going to take anything there. Brock Bowers, his over-under. So his over for receiving touchdowns is plus 124 or 5.5. Its under is minus 172, so that's heavy juice towards the under. He had 5 last season with some terrible quarterbacks. I would think that would step up a bit, but I don't know. I need to look it up a little bit more just to see what Geno's like, how often he throws to the tight end, if that's going to be a reliable thing. But I just don't know. I'm probably going to just stay away from that one. That's one I'm totally not too interested in. One that I'm wondering about, I haven't taken yet. So this one might sound a bit... It's Brock Bowers under 1025.5 receiving yards. Just for the fact that I think... Because he finished with basically, I think it was like 1,100 last year. I just think that it's going to be a little bit of regression. I mean, I think the reason I lean the under is I think there's going to be a bit of regression from 1,100. 1,000 feels like a lot. He's probably still... I mean, if he's not their leading pass catcher, it's Jacoby Myers. If it's not Jacoby Myers, it's Brock Bowers. So it's one of those things where, like, the yardage might be pretty decent, and you probably should, consider taking the over, but I just lean the under for the fact that it just feels like a lot of yards, especially for an offense I think is going to try to attack on the ground a little bit more. Maybe they're in a few more games, so they don't need to nearly pass as much. But he's going to be a big part of the offense, so... Every way I think about it, there's one way that can bounce me either way. So that's one I'm leaning towards. We might take it after a few more futures, like later in the offseason. And by later in the offseason, I basically mean like 2 weeks from now, because we got AFC West this week, NFC West next week, and then the following week is probably when I'll just talk over some futures on like that Tuesday or Thursday episode, talk over some ones I didn't take, but I'm going to end up taking now. I just don't know. I won't lie to you. I lean the under. I'm really close to taking it. I just can't get myself to pull the trigger in case he has a good season, so I'm probably going to stay away from it. One I will take, though, Jacoby Myers over 800 receiving yards. He's their number 1 receiver, and like I said, there's a chance that Brock Bowers might be considered their number 1 receiver, just based on like passing and all that, like routes that they want to go his way, passing, all that jazz. So there's a chance, don't get me wrong, there's a chance that Brock Bowers could be the leading target guy, but Jacoby Myers did over 800 yards. I mean, Brock Bowers had 1,000 yards last year, and Jacoby Myers still hit. over 800 yards. I think he's going to be a really reliable target for Geno. I mean, last year he had 1,000 receiving yards as well as Brock Bowers, and he had every other year. So basically since 2022 he had 866, 23 he had 804, 24 he had 807, last year he had 1,000. So I just like him at the 800 number. I feel like it's a great number for him, honestly, because I wouldn't be shocked if he finishes just below that. But in my opinion, I think he should. I don't want to say easily, but I think he should pass over 800 just because it's Brock Bowers, it's Ashton Jeanty, it's Jacoby Myers, and then it starts to get really, really dusty after that. Maybe Jack Beck can prove himself, but you just look at some of those names, I just don't know, man. And especially because there's only so many targets to go around, you would think that Jacoby Myers, Brock Bowers, and Ashton Jeanty would get a decent amount of those carries. So that's going to do it before I say that, let me go over my official futures for the Las Vegas Raiders. We got Ashton Jeanty over 1,050.5 rushing yards. We got Ashton Jeanty over 7.5 rushing touchdowns. We got Jacoby Myers over 800.5 receiving yards. So the official futures, we'll just merge this together real quick. Official futures for the AFC West, Part 1. We got the Chiefs over 11.5 wins. We got the Chiefs to be the AFC West winner, -110. We got Mahomes over 4,000 passing yards at -114. We got Ashton Jeanty at 1,050.5 rushing yards, -114. Ashton Jeanty 7.5 over on that. Rushing touchdowns, we're thinking -110, -114 around there. And then you got Jacoby Myers over 800.5 receiving yards. Thank y'all for watching. Thanks for the support. Really do appreciate it. I'll be back in this feed on Thursday to go over some more of the AFC West. We got the last two teams to talk about, and then next week it's NFC West, and then, man, we're basically right there to the season. I'll have some college futures I probably need to talk about here soon, just to go on. We gave out a couple win totals earlier in the season, but I won't lie to you. Don't got a lot of college futures this year. Buying the house obviously has changed it up a lot, where basically it's all right, we're not going to take nearly any college futures, and we're going to have to cut down a lot in the NFL futures, but nothing bad. Can't complain about it at all. It's just there's some college futures that I just didn't take, but we gave out the ones I love, so we at least have those placed. And like I said, Thursday we got finishing the AFC West for you. We'll go over the Broncos and the Chargers, who looks like they might have interesting seasons. But like I said, again, thank you all for watching. Really do appreciate it. See you all Thursday.